welcome back. You're still watching Nile Cruise. In February of 2010, the Ministry of Culture of the Egyptian Ministry of Culture signed a contract with a joint venture of Hill International and EHAF Consulting Engineers to provide a project management services during the design and the construction of the Grand Egyptian Museum. The contract had an estimated value to the Hill EHAF joint venture of approximately multi-million dollars. All this and more we'll be talking more about with Dr. Mostafa Boghdady, the Egyptian representative in the joint venture of the Hill EHAF. Hello, doctor.
Hello.
Am I saying it right?
Yeah, EHAF joint venture.
Yes.
Hello, Dr. Boghdady.
Hello, how are you?
How was the joint venture Hill and EHAF formed on the first place, you think?
Well, it was a competition between different management companies in 2005, and we began to work on 2010. We were the winners of the competition, and we were involved in the project since 2010, for 2 years now.
Right.
So how was it formed in the first place?
Hill EHAF have a long history together. We were working in several projects together in Egypt and in the Gulf area. And
so that's not the first project to be working
No, that's
together.
not the first time we were working together.
What were the other projects?
The other project in Saudi Arabia, in Abu Dhabi, was Suruh project, the towers, and lots of urban design projects, master planning. The first project Habib was in Nakhil, together in the Palm. The first project was in the Palm. It began in 2005. We worked together for 3 years over there, and then we moved to other projects in the Gulf area, in Abu Dhabi, and we began to work in Egypt in this project, and in other museums in the Gulf area.
So that's the first in Egypt.
The first big project.
Big project.
Yeah, yeah.
So what are the techniques that are being used here? Are there any new techniques that are being used upon construction such a project or supervising the design of such a project?
Well, this project, in fact, is the most difficult project I have faced in my life. All ideas are new in terms of following up the grid of the project, because the shape of the project itself is totally irregular, radial lines, no parallel lines at all except in one direction. So to make the survey points and to control the construction of this project is extremely difficult. For this we have an excellent team of surveyors to work on the project. Besides the contractors also the contractor team is also experienced in doing this job.
Right. Engineer Boghdady, tell us about the exact missions given to Hill and EHAF as the managing director of the project. What are the exact missions?
All management project has to control time and cost in general.
Of course, the two most important things.
Yeah, time and cost. And to follow up the construction and the supervision of the work, including depending on the specs of the project, and not escaping these two important lines, the time and cost. So we have to work accurately and to fulfill our obligations, contractual obligations, step by step. The project is going to last for 5 years, and we spent 1 year on the construction. Yes, began the construction beginning in March 2012. Now we are March 2013. So 1 year elapsed now.
So being one of the biggest projects that you've worked on, or the hardest maybe that you've worked on in Egypt and in the Gulf, of course, does that affect the fact that you're choosing the staff, or affecting your work in general? Being such a big project, does it affect your choice of staff?
Well, Hill and EHAF have lots of projects around the world. So for EHAF, at least I know about, it has, in the Gulf area, it has like 5 offices. So to combine people from 5 offices to come back to Egypt, it was not a difficult job. The main important item attracting the engineers to this job is that the difficulty of the job is a challenge, and lots of people, Egyptian staff, would like to participate in such project. So I believe, no, it was not an easy job, a difficult job to attract people. People were coming because of the high prestigious scope of this project.
Even with the security situation here in Egypt, it wasn't hard to be drawing people or.
In fact, we began to work in a very difficult time. We began to work 2011, preparing the work. But I believe we did not miss one day of work on site.
Right,
not one day of work.
Right. Engineer Boghdady, talking about challenges, you just mentioned the word challenges, which is very important. Tell us about the obstacles and challenges that met you in this mega project.
Number one is as you've seen, the very harsh terrain and very harsh levels between the lower point of the project and the higher point of the project. The lower point of the project along Alexandria Road is plus 20 meters high. The highest point is plus 67 meters. So there is a difference of 47 meters on the site. So to maneuver around the site with this big amount of sand and find your way and make excavation necessary for foundation, it was an extremely difficult problem. But our luck was good because this problem was clear to the client since the beginning. They began to do phase 2, which is the earthworks to prepare the land for the third phase. So although they have done a lot, but still the difficulty is the levels and the high levels from lower part to the upper part. And we always looking at the pyramid side, which is on my back. The pyramid size, the plateau is plus 67. And we are currently on this level plus 50. So in order to have the clear view to the pyramids, we have to do lots of work outside the site of the gem itself, mostly in the Remaya club. So we have to level the land to level 45, so we have a clear view to all three pyramids together.
So how much time will it take to finish construction here?
The project ends in 2015, according to schedule.
Fully finished?
Not fully finished, no. Some parts of the museum are going to be finished, but the conference center is going to be core and shell. Core and shell means the external finish only, but not the internal finish. This is the contract.
From your own point of view as an expert and a senior engineer, how do you see the location, the choice of the location for especially very close overlooking the Great Pyramids and in the desert and then somehow partially in the desert? How do you rate the choice of the location?
It's an excellent location because from this point you can see all the three pyramids together on a great altitude. Remember the old entrances to the pyramid, you can see only one pyramid and then the second one follows and third one follows. But from this location you are going to see a clear shot of all the three pyramids on one line.
How are you going to benefit that point overlooking the pyramids? Are you going to use a technique that would make the visitor see the pyramids, the three at one time?
See, this is the excellency of the choosing the position and the particular levels. We are entering on level 25 and using the grand stair which moved us from level 25 to level 49. Suddenly when we reach 49, we're in front of a big, huge glass wall and overlooking the pyramids. I believe this point is going to attract most of the people to stay here and get the shots of the three pyramids together. And this is the creativity of this idea, the creative point of this idea, that suddenly after climbing the steps you are going to face the three pyramids together.
So in your opinion, Doctor, how important will be the Grand Egyptian Museum for Egypt and the Egyptian tourism in the future?
There is a master plan done for the whole area, not only for the gem site, but for the whole part of this part of Giza. I believe they're expecting like 16 new hotels to be constructed here. So this by itself is a great opportunity to attract tourism. So you have the hotels, you have the gem, you have the pyramids, you have the Sphinx in one site. Imagine the quantity of attractiveness here.
Right, Baghdadi, but let's also talk about the people who are the conservative or the other opinions that would debate that this might be dangerous on the very close to the pyramids and constructing new buildings and pollution and stuff like that. How would you react to criticism like this? Is it really dangerous to establish buildings very close to the to those very valuable artifacts?
In fact, visually you are close, but distance-wise we are not close. There is about
How far are we from the pyramids?
minimum 5 kilometers from here to
And
here.
is that enough to,
And
to inflict
the
any
height
damage?
is also different. The plateau of the pyramid is plus 67, and we are on level 20. So there is 47-meter difference in height. So if there is pollution on this area, I believe also the greenery and the landscape around the site is going to be a good factor to reduce any kind of pollution. Besides, pollution-wise, we have the metro on the entrance of the gem, the metro line 4. So this by itself is going to attract a lot of people with no pollution at all.
So, Dr. Mostafa Boghdady, the Egyptian representative in the joint venture of Hill and Ahab, thank you very much for being with us today.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Now it's time to go out for a quick break. So stay